A very interesting new poll came out from NBC News this week that contained information and actually kind of polled people in a way that I haven't seen before. So that's the reason I wanted to talk about it. And before I get into that, let me just preface it with this. Almost all of the polling data we have seen come out in the last month has been really good news for President Biden. His poll numbers continue to go up. Donald Trump in most polls is either staying stagnant or dropping a little bit. Bobby Kennedy Jr. is now taking more votes away from Trump than he is from Biden. Biden's got the wind at his back right now. Except, according to this new poll from NBC News, there is one demographic that Biden just can't seem to crack. One demographic that overwhelmingly breaks for Donald Trump and is also very fond of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And that demographic happens to be people who don't consume any news at all. That's right, folks. If you bury your head in the sand and you're not paying attention to literally anything happening in this country, that makes you more likely to support Donald Trump and think that, hey, he's not such a bad guy. I haven't heard anything bad about him, right? Do you know how insane that is? Like, not just insane that that's happening, but it's almost insane that NBC News even had to ask people that question. But it shows us that, yes, if you choose the path of ignorance, it's easy to see how people still support Donald Trump. Like, I don't even know what's going on with him, but I don't know, kind of seems like a good dude. I mean, it's not like he's on criminal trial. I don't know. I don't watch the news. I don't read the news. I don't consume any news at all. So I think everything's great, except I also hate Biden for some reason. Interesting. Let me read this. So the poll looked at like three basic categories. One is people who consume traditional news, cable news and reading newspaper. The second group is the people who consume digital news, YouTube, podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, things like that. So 54% said they consume traditional news. 40% said they're digital news. The other 6% are like, I don't even know what news is. Like, I don't consume any of it. And Trump has a major lead, among those who don't follow political news. 53% back him and 27% back Biden. So out of that 6% group who do not consume any political news, they're like, oh yeah, Trump's a good guy. And as I said, they also have a very, very high approval rating of Bobby Kennedy Jr., and they hold a negative view of President Biden. So let me read you this. This is actually from a conservative strategist. They said, these are voters who have tuned out information by and large, and they know who they are supporting and they aren't moving. That's why it's hard to move this race based on actual news. They aren't seeing it and they don't care. Like, what the hell? We just have people in this country. And I know it's weird to think because, like, I do news every day. The Ring of Fire audience, y'all are news consumers. So it's hard for us to really wrap our head around the fact that there is a good portion of people that are like, nope, none of it. I don't care. I don't know. I don't want to know. I'm going to live in my little blissful ignorance over here. That is just shocking to me. It's absolutely mind-blowing that these people exist. But there is still good news for Biden with this. Because even though 6% say, I don't know what news is and I love Donald Trump, the majority of those people, by the way, also don't vote. That's according to this poll, this 6% that's not consuming political news. It's not because they're choosing to be ignorant. It's because they genuinely do not care. They're non-voters. So even though Trump has a little bit of good news, he's got a lead in this category. It's a lead in a category that statistically isn't going to show up in November. So you're winning a demographic that's not even going to vote. That is Trump's big victory in this new poll. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.